What if I told you that the most important thing in your life, the salary that keeps you standing, the savings that make you feel safe when you say, I've put something aside, the money you think you own, might not be as solid as you believe? What if I told you that governments and central banks can create this money out of thin air, wipe out its value overnight, and still convince you to trust it without question? I know. It sounds unsettling. At first, it might even feel like exaggeration or conspiracy talk, but unfortunately, this isn't fiction. This is the system we live in. And here's the strange part. The moment that changed everything already happened, quietly, almost without anyone noticing. The date was August 15th, 1971. That Sunday evening, President Richard Nixon appeared on American television and interrupted regular programming. His voice was calm, confident. He announced that the United States would temporarily suspend the dollar's convertibility into gold, meaning foreign governments could no longer exchange their dollars for the gold that had backed them for decades. He said temporary. He said emergency. But the decision was permanent, and whether we realize it or not, it fundamentally changed our lives. That night, the bond between money and reality was quietly severed. The dollar stopped being a promise tied to something tangible and became a promise backed only by itself. Nothing more than a government saying, "Trust me." To understand why this matters so much, we need to step back. After World War II, the Bretton Woods system brought balance to the world. Currencies were pegged to the dollar to gold. 1 ounce worth $35. The system wasn't perfect, but it was predictable. Limited inflation, stable trade, gold as the final anchor. By the late 1960s, that balance cracked under the weight of the Vietnam War and rising domestic spending. Dollars flooded the world while gold did not. Countries demanded conversion, and the United States realized it could not keep its promise. The gold window never reopened. By the mid-1970s, the world entered a new monetary era, sustained not by gold but by decisions. Fiat money existing simply because it is declared to exist, with no natural limit on creation. What's most striking is how quietly this happened. The next day, stores opened, salaries were paid, life went on. Everything looked normal. Yet something enormous had changed. Humanity built its monetary system not on scarcity, but on trust. And history shows that when trust becomes the only pillar, cracks are inevitable. It is only a matter of time. This was not the first time. Rome debased its silver coins to fund empire. Money remained but hollowed out. Inflation rose, trust collapsed, barter returned, and an empire unraveled after losing faith in its currency. Centuries later, China embraced paper money. It worked until the temptation to print endlessly took over. Presses ran nonstop, trust evaporated, and the system collapsed. Centuries change, tools change, but human weakness and power do not. And when money loses its real anchor, the public always pays the price. That is what happened in 1971, but on a global scale, because the dollar was not just another currency, it was the backbone of the world. And when it detached from gold, everyone followed. Debt exploded, interest rates were manipulated, central banks believed they could manage the system. It seemed to work at first, but this was not stability, it was acceleration, and acceleration always has a cost. Today, we see it in purchasing power. We work more, save less, ownership becomes harder, everything feels expensive. Yet we are told this is normal. It is not normal. It is the non-natural outcome of a system built solely on trust. And the harsh truth is that trust lasts until one day it doesn't. History shows this again and again, from Weimar Germany to Argentina, as money loses meaning and people adapt by hiding sheesh, buying assets, and searching for alternatives. Now we stand at another threshold: digital money. Central banks promise convenience and speed through digital currencies, but the price is more control, more surveillance, less privacy. If money already depends on trust, imagine it also depending on a single switch that can be turned on or off with a keystroke. Some see crypto as an escape, others turn to gold. Maybe none is a perfect solution on its own, because the real issue was never a single asset. The real issue is power. When money loses its real foundation, the powerful become more flexible, everyone else more fragile, and when the system breaks, ordinary people always pay the cost. This is a cycle. This is a trap. And that trap was set the day money stopped being real. If this text made you question something, then perhaps it did its job, because history whispers its answers if we are willing to stop and listen.